All right, what's up, everyone? We are back with our second interview back in almost a year, and we are here with the overly handsome Over the Bridge. So, Over the Bridge is a genre-bending reggae rock band out of Massachusetts, and luckily for us, they're going to be in our area in Brooklyn on April 21st with our good friends Team Blue and Bunktown Falls. Guys, thank you for coming on with us.
Hey, thanks for having us on. Yeah. What's up?
So why don't we start by going through, we'll do left to right, everybody introduce themselves and who you are within the band.
Which left? Left? Your left.
Whatever left you want.
All right, plaid shirt.
I guess I'll start. Hey, I'm Dave. I co-founded the band with Mike like 7 years ago. We grew up together, like playing soccer, like we were 8. And as we got older, we realized we both play music. We both like the same kind of vibe, both same kind of style. We got together and started OTB.
Sings and plays guitar.
Oh yeah, I sing, play guitar, and a little bit of fiddle.
Yeah.
Fiddle.
Cool.
All right, I'm gonna ask that later. Give me a sec. But continue.
Oh yeah, write it down. I think
I'm Mike. I sing and I also play guitar. Not as good at guitar as Dave, but I also play guitar.
Stop.
I'm Austin, and I play drums. I'm the second most handsome member of the band.
Most handsome. Now I'm curious.
First one.
Tough choice.
Yeah, I actually played drums in another band, and then probably like 4 years ago, I think, filled in a couple random shows, and then full circle, like years later, started jamming with these guys again. So it's been awesome.
Cool.
You guys here.
And I'm Jeff. I'm the bass player. I linked up with these guys like 6 months ago. And just started listening to their tunes, and I was like, this is some good music right here. So it's been a fun time playing with them. And
These two we're in a band together. They were the rhythm section of a band called Beneath the Sheets before. They're in the area cover band that was, playing the same kind of shows and venues that we were. So we crossed paths a bunch, like in passing. And then one of their members, I think, went to LA or something like that. And we had some, personnel changes in our band, and it kind of just like worked where Austin was playing with us and he's like, I know a bass player. And then here we are 6 months later, we've been playing together. So it's been cool to see how the crew kind of developed. It's been a while since Dave and I have had like actual, unit as the band. Usually we're playing with kind of hired guns on the road and stuff like that. So to have an actual bass player and drummer traveling and doing all the shows with us has been awesome. So this is the newest lineup of Over the Bridge, live and direct.
Oh, yeah. The transition from like cover, like just doing covers to original music, how did that, like what inspired you to kind of jump that bridge? If you want me to be punny right now. But
We kind of were always, and like at least for OTB, we had the goal to always play our own music. And when you're first starting out and you're playing like in the corner of a bar, you're playing, it's kind of tough when it's like 3-4 hour gigs. It's to only play your own stuff. So we kind of just like ended up starting out as a cover band because that's just like what you do. And it's
easy to kind of like, you don't have to really think about it. You're just kind of like, it's cool. So
yeah, and it's like what people want to hear mostly at the bar when they're drinking beer. It's like, free bird kind of thing. And so we kind of put our own spin, our own flavor on most of the stuff, but like we wanted to kind of get away from that and recently kind of are only focusing on our own stuff, our own music.
A lot of original show music, ticketed venues and stuff like that. It's kind of progressed. We were playing, basically when we started, anywhere and everywhere they would let us set up our stuff and play, we would play.
Right.
We'd mix our covers in with our originals, and that's kind of how we got our name out there. We used to throw free merch at people at bars, and just like you go to like a town bar and there'd be people wearing our shirts that like don't even know where they got it. But
it's like those like bracelets people.
Awesome. We've been growing, and
Who wants a t-shirt?
Cool. Right. So
and then when these guys came in, it just kind of instantly worked. You know what I mean? Like it's like first practice, we all got together, like let's play, and it's just like, oh, like this, it just feels right. It just kind of
a bunch of guys that were dedicated.
Not a lot of hiccups, not a lot of like speed bumps in the road. It was just really like a smooth ride right into like being a band.
We knew that.
So
yeah, we're gonna ask them if they want to play with us.
Yeah, like, do you guys want to keep doing this?
We should do this again.
You sure? It's like renewing a contract. I get it.
So now that you have this core four, have you played any shows yet with this core four, or is this tour that's coming up and these shows, the new shows coming up, your first ones together?
Some of our biggest shows that we've played recently have been with the core
With the core four.
Yeah.
For
Cool.
sure.
We did a big hometown beer festival in our hometown in Gloucester. That was awesome. A couple thousand people showed up and like a bunch of breweries. We just played with Bumpin' Uglies in Gloucester.
Bright Music Hall, Long Arm Rex too.
Yeah. Crooked Coast we played with at Brighton
At
as
Brighton,
well.
yeah. And Soul Rebel was on that one. Soul
right,
Rebel.
Soul Project.
Yeah. What else? We played at Bernie's not too long ago. That was a good ticketed event.
Yeah, that was with Joe. Joe Samba,
Joe
our
Samba.
brother Joe Samba. We played in August. Was that the first show that you played with us?
Yeah,
That was big too. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was like 2
1,000
rehearsals.
people there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 rehearsals and it's hit.
So basically, since it's only been like awesome shows since they've been with us. There hasn't been a bad one.
Nice.
That's how you know it works when like all the shows since creating this collective is just like nothing but fantastic. So makes sense.
Oh yeah. So we jumped ahead a little bit. I was going to ask about that Bumpin' Ugly show later, but let's go to that now. How did you guys get on that show, or how did that whole thing come about?
That was one.
Top secret.
Yeah, so my roommate in college is now the agent, Blake Pantalina. He's the agent, booking agent at Bright Music Hall.
That's
Okay.
It was like a recent development. He's only not even a full year been the main guy there. So as soon as he was in, he saw some like cool reggae shows coming through. He immediately emailed us. It was like, hey, we're trying to get you on this show. I just pitched it to Bumpin' Uglies guy. Like,
Management.
and we had played a show with Bumpin' Uglies at Wally's about a year ago. Sold out show, like over capacity. Shouldn't say that. Show at Wally's with Bumpin' Uglies and Article Sound System.
Yep.
And that went really well. So when I hope their management was stoked to have us back.
It was great, and they've been having an awesome year. So like we sold that show out, and that was like midsummer, and then they have another album out and stuff. So it's like everybody all around the scene has been kind of leveling up and stuff, and to be able to jump in on that show again, like later on down the road, is kind of cool. So the management had to approve us, so they checked us out. They thought we were good enough to play with them, so that's awesome.
Don't sell yourself short. You guys are a pretty kick-ass band. Don't sell yourself too short. Okay. I think what happened is that the Bumpin' Uglies manager was like, you know what? I need like a solid, handsome collective on this. You know who my first thought is? Over the Hanson Bridge. So I think that's there you go.
All right. So before we go into more shows and tours and everything, I wanted to go to the most recent release, which was your self-titled album. Correct? I'm correct with that, right? So can you tell us a little bit about, the process of that album, the recording, anything you can give us in that?
Yeah, we actually released it a year ago. Yesterday was the anniversary, so this is a perfect timing.
Yeah, 1 year.
Question.
There you go.
Yeah, 1 year. We had some friends at Revelry Studios that we had played with, or like gone there and did like some live stuff with, and actually Joe Samba again hooked us up with. Mm-hmm. So we went there because we like them. It's like really open as far as like the camaraderie thing. We stayed there for like 4 days straight, slept on the floor and the couch and stuff.
We set the record at the Revelry Studios in Manchester, New Hampshire for longest like locked in session. We were there for I think like 4 nights, like 5 days, showering in the sink.
Sleeping in the studio or like just
shower.
Yeah, just we're like, all right, let's go. Sit in the morning.
Even though we released it a year ago yesterday, the album was recorded probably like 3 or 4 years prior to that. Because we had gone through some loss. We lost our bass player during the recording of the album, Mike Paul, rest in peace. But he actually finished his bass parts and tracking the bass before he passed away. So the bass that you hear on the album is his. So it was a long time in the making. We finished. It took like 3 or 4 years after that to like really finish the whole thing. And then when it came out last year, it was like finally everybody had been waiting for our debut album. We had put so much time and energy into it. Joe Samba produced it. We had met him through being in New England and playing shows together. He brought us to Revelry Studio album. It was awesome to bring him into the studio. He was about to fly out or had just come home from Spain and had a couple days off and gave us one of the days in the studio with us, which is awesome. Thank you, Paul. It was huge. We had it mixed by Lou Richards at 17th Street Recording.
He did the mastering,
he did mastering on it. Opie Ortiz did our cover art. We just had a whole bunch of people that we had connections with over the years and asked them, to be a part of the project, and everybody was, really eager to help out, and it came out with this album that ended up at number 1 on the iTunes reggae charts, which really, that's in sales. Enough people bought the album when it came out that
actually
weekend,
bought it.
that they actually went on iTunes and purchased it, which isn't easy, by the way. We tried to share the link, but everything takes you to Apple Music to stream. Like, you literally have to go and find iTunes to buy it. So enough people did that and searched it out, but that put us there. So that was cool. It's been a cool year since then, though. It's had a bunch of streams. I think we checked yesterday and posted, I think it was 86,000 streams on Spotify.
In a year.
In the year, in the first year, which is great. We're independent, self-funded, all the stuff is by ourselves. So all the growth and all the shows and all the stuff that we've gotten in from the album release has all been organic, and because of people like you guys who are supporting us and sharing our music. So it's awesome. Thank you guys too.
Thank you.
This is great. Yeah.
But yeah, we were talking. I think you guys were asking us where we found you, and I think it was either Discovery, Spotify Discovery, or your For You, whatever the For You page version of Spotify is. So it's cool that with all the, as you said, being self-funded and just being independent, that you're able to reach people like us, I guess, just kind of organically too. So that's very
so our second biggest market on streaming is New York City, behind our hometown in Boston. The numbers on our streaming sites are similar. So we're really excited since the album, we've never been to New York, and we have a lot of listeners that are in New York. So we're excited to come in April.
21st.
Yeah. Oh, wait. We're gonna segue into that. Very great segue. So you guys are playing Friday, April 21st at the Bowery Electric in Bunktown Falls. I was told you guys have an interesting story of how that came about. Do you want to spill some knowledge on us?
I don't even know how we met those guys, but we've known them for a while.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. We played a show with them in Boston, actually on 420. So this will be an anniversary show with them, which will be cool. Yeah, a lot of so weird. Yeah. So anyway, we're starting to go back and play with them again. They kill it. They're a great vibe. They're cool dudes. They like to hang. They like to smoke. They like to kind of hang. They kind of match us.
We partied pretty hard in Boston together. It was the Baseball Tavern. I think it's closed now.
Baseball Tavern, is now been ripped down.
Shut it down.
Is that your doing?
I was gonna say,
or was that indirectly?
Did you guys cause that bar to close?
We partied so hard that the building just collapsed.
Yeah.
That's what happened. And I'm sticking to
it. In Dune Blue. So we were trying to get a show in early January. We were putting together a small run of early 2023 shows in the area. So we had reached out to Dune Blues, just someone that we knew from the scene. I had heard his music before. We were friends on social media and stuff. So I reached out to Bunktown and you as well, trying to, put together some kind of network in New York. And they were down to work with us and play the show. And it didn't work out in January, but then they locked in the show at Bowery and they reached out back to us. Kind of, full circle. They said, do you guys want to come to this one? And we just kind of jumped on it. And Bunktown, we've known them for a long time. So it was cool to have the connection, and they knew you guys too. So just kind of connected the dots. And
yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how there's a big surf rock reggae scene within Long Island, also not just Long Island, but New York in general, which people don't really realize too much. So it's
Northeast.
You find one or two bands you can find it, basically.
Right.
Yeah, there's Oogie Wawa, Aqua Cherry, there's a lot of great local. Yeah, so it's cool stuff. Even Ballyhoo's not really isn't from, but they come here. Still East Coast. Yeah, so a lot of good East Coast reggae.
Yeah, so I think all over the whole country, I think reggae rock's kind of, especially lately, kind of has a hidden kind of bigger market. People don't really realize how much is kind of taken off as a whole.
A lot of people listening. A lot of people.
It's really great because we've met a lot of the dudes that are kind of in it and doing it and kind of taking it up, and everyone's really awesome. The community itself, it's really a community. Nobody's stepping on each other. Everyone's lifting each other up, which, with the whole vibe of a reggae rock or an American reggae or Cali rock, whatever you want to call your kind of brand of that reggae subgroup. it's all kind of, we're all taking it up together, and it's really cool to be a part of, to kind of like see this wave kind of build up, and we can all kind of ride it into shore.
To have people support us that like to do the shows and to be traveling and putting out our own music and meeting people in different states, to have it grow to that. And we've been shared on social media that, you know, we look up to and grew up listening to. Sublime their Instagram page shared our tour poster recently, which is absolutely mind-bending.
Insane.
We've been asked to do shows or guest spots with people at their shows. I don't know if you're familiar with Cali Vibes Fest, but they're always asking, you know, people to come out on stage and do songs with them, and like everybody, it's really a big camaraderie in this specific genre. It's not super competitive, and everybody is trying to give each other opportunities. So if it wasn't for that, honestly, I don't think we would have made it as far as we've gotten now. Everybody's helping each other and helping people as well, like behind us, you know, everybody's like kind of reaching a hand down and like pulling the next one up. And it's cool to see. And like, I can't believe we're doing interviews with people that listen to our music in New York from where we're from. So it's like, it's awesome to see where it's grown, and the scene itself is what has done that for us. Like,
Totally. Yeah.
like being shared from them and doing these shows is sick.
Yeah, like just having all the connection. Like I think reggae, surf rock, that kind of genre, I like you were saying, like it's been there's a lot of camaraderie there that I don't see in other genres. And I feel like all the like bands, like specifically within like the reggae genre, have been from all over the place. Like I think we've had people from like California, from Florida, from Massachusetts, and like everywhere. So yeah, just like we've interviewed from bands from all over, but it just seems like so small. Like everyone just like knows each other, despite the.
Ooh, where'd they go?
Oh no!
Where'd they go?
I had a great point too. No.
What's happening?
All right, we'll fake. Don't keep them in the studio.
Yeah, we lost their picture and their mic.
Oh geez. Oh. Let's see.
Can you guys hear us still? Where did they go?
Oops. All right. Well, I had a great. This always happens when I have a great point, and then just
all right.
happens.
Well, we're having some technical difficulties at the moment.
Fun
we
stuff.
lost.
All right. Do we want to?
We lost the band's camera.
Oh, we're back. Technical difficulties.
We're back.
Sweet. All right. Austin got himself a drink. That was the call to nature, right? That was.
Austin over here drinking iced coffee. It's like 17 degrees out here up in New Hampshire.
Literally,
Southern New Hampshire.
everywhere. You gotta stay hydrated, you know.
Brave man. All right. Before all the technical difficulties and everything, I was mentioning how like we've interviewed reggae bands from like Florida, from Massachusetts, from Hawaii, from San Francisco, and New York, and California, and it's like crazy how despite where everybody is, I feel like everybody knows each other. There's like a family camaraderie sort of thing. So I don't think you see that too often with like other genres of bands. So I think that's amazing.
Yeah, it's like a family. It's like an open arms kind of thing. It's like, yo, come on in, like hang out, like let's, you know, because we're all, I think, on the same wavelength together. The same.
Hierarchy, like I've seen, like we've interviewed Ballyhoo, and like it was like we were talking to like a good friend. It was great, and like so like it's cool. That's what I really appreciate about like the music scene within all that. So yeah,
in the message in the music.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So we haven't discussed the tour yet. So you guys are on tour going on tour with Long Beach Dub All Stars. Can you tell us about how that all happened?
Yes. Did you just say All Stars?
All Stars.
I did say very American.
Welcome to Boston. Sorry, I couldn't help myself
in
there.
May, we're going on tour with Long Beach Dub All Stars, and Bradley Noel's son Jacob Noel, his new project Jacob's Castle, is also going to be with us. We knew Opie, the lead singer and tattoo artist. He's the one who did the Sublime Sun. He did our cover art for us, and like I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, we did a tour called the Way of Life Tour. With the Hangover Pub, our friend Jay Gray, and Mike Arastia, and then they did music and tattoos and food, and we were like the house band, like Saturday Night Live, like house band for like this little 4-city thing that they were doing. And Opie was there doing the tattoos and stuff. We've known him since then. We kind of stayed in contact. And when we had the album, we hit him up to do a commissioned piece for our cover. And he did that. So we had been in contact with him for a while, like 5 or 6, 7 years.
5 years.
So fast forward from then to now, Jay owns Odd by Nature Brewing.
That's a stop on the tour in Maine.
So on the 20th is one of the shows on the tour with Long Beach Dub All Stars. Jay owns Odd by Nature Brewing now. And they're putting on Oddity by the Ocean. It's their second year. We played the first year. It's a big beer festival with like 60 to 70 local craft breweries and live music. And so they're bringing the Long Beach Dub All Stars and Jacob out to the East Coast. And their management wanted to piece together a little mini tour run to get them out here to do that show. And when it all came to fruition, we were like the first ones to be asked, like, hey, would you want to go on this run with us? So it just like years of connections and stuff just like kind of came out of nowhere, honestly, in the last like 5 or 6 months. And then all of a sudden it's real and it's here and there's posters and Sublime sharing it. And now we're like, it's awesome. Honestly, it's sick. It's like kind of a dream come true to us.
It literally is a dream come true. Like, we used to like bump Long Beach Dub All Stars like in high school was like, that was the soundtrack.
Yeah.
So like be able to like go play with them and open for them. It's
absolutely
like
legendary. It's great.
It's like, oh,
really excited for that. And it's our
really
first
cool.
like real tour run, you know, like it's going to be awesome. We're so excited for it.
yeah, we feel like we're big boys now, you know?
Yeah. Right.
We've graduated.
How many shows are on the tour?
4.
4. Okay. Is there
Four,
one
so
that
it's the 18th in New Jersey, the 19th in Rhode Island, the 20th is at Oddity by the Ocean, like we were talking about, Maine, Wells, Maine, and then we're playing at Bernie's on the Sunday of the 21st in Hampton Beach.
Very cool. Is there a show you're most excited
So we're
about?
really stoked about that.
Is there a show that you guys are most excited about out of those 4 shows?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yes, all of them, all the above.
I was
All
gonna
right.
ask.
Very cool.
Those who play in Jersey, we played it one other time.
Jersey Shore Fest.
Jersey Shore Fest.
Played a couple of times, like a local indie festival.
Yeah, it's like a little like local band festival that like is basically like a networking
We never
festival.
actually played.
But we never had a real show there that was like us. So
Yeah.
pretty stoked to play a new state.
Yeah. We've never been to Ocean Mist either, so that's going to be sick in Rhode Island.
Yes.
It's so many people have played there. It's like one of the staple New England like venues, especially for reggae. So we're pumped to be there.
Yeah, we're stoked.
It's kind of like right in the beginning of summer too, like when New England starts to like listen, so like everybody else is going to be stoked, and it's going to be awesome.
Austin will still be drinking iced coffee though.
Keep going.
Yeah, it's a good summer drink. I'm not gonna front. So I know like you're excited, but is there any shows in the past that have stuck out to you? Any like memories, like something where you're like, oh shit, like I'm gonna remember this forever, kind of thing, from previous shows?
Oh man.
You want to go first?
I mean, so many. Yes, there's so many. One of the thing that really stands out, the Boston Freedom Rally, where we played in Boston Common.
All right, Boston Freedom Rally.
Boston Freedom Rally, yeah. So we just played with a whole bunch of other bands. It was really cool. Like, it's kind of back to the camaraderie thing. The whole festival was just like really.
Dude, we met Baby Bash and Paul Wall.
And Paul Wall, yeah.
Smoked a joint with them backstage.
It was just
our faces were on the jumbotron, like big screens on the thing. It was nuts. It was crazy.
It was a great day. It was just like an all-around good day.
Fortunate Youth
Beautiful
played
weather.
that day,
Fortunate
too.
Youth was there.
Yeah.
A bunch of our friends, the Quins. So I think Joe Samo was on it.
Yeah, backstage was just like a huge bro fest.
Yeah,
Everybody we know was great.
Sorry if I forgot anybody, but it was like so many. It was like everyone was just like hanging out and just being friends, you know, and it just felt good. That to me is like what, like playing live music is awesome, but to me it's like I just love the camaraderie of the whole thing. I love just like being on stage with my friends and hanging out, like drinking a beer and just like shooting shit, and then like we also get to do something that we just love to do.
It's crazy to forget about stuff like that. I wasn't even gonna mention them. Now you say it. That was a great day.
Yeah, it was a great day.
I was gonna say the Wally's. The first time that we played with Bumpin' Uglies in the sold out show at Wally's. It was the first time that we had played a big show since like a big show like that, sold out since the album had released, and people were singing the words to the songs. Like their crowd was singing some of the words to our songs. People knew the songs, and that to me was just like,
That's
wow,
pretty.
this is nuts. Like I'm gonna remember this forever. They were singing our songs, so it was great. That's mine. But now that you said that big day at Boston Hemp Fest, that was a great day. We actually took this giant van. We were like somebody's van. I think we have a friend that like owns a restaurant in Gloucester, and he just uses like bakery van or something like that. And we like drove there like with 7 of us in this bakery van, and it was just like a great day.
And there were no seats in the back.
No seats in the
We
back.
just put up beach chairs and we all hung out in the back, like no windows. We were just like enclosed. No idea what's going on. No seatbelts. Like,
So are you guys always Sunny fans?
yeah.
Like when they go on the road trip, when they're trying to go to the Grand Canyon, and they're all sitting in the back of the U-Haul.
Yeah, exactly that.
That's exactly what
Just come out with a cloud of smoke.
What about you guys on the other side? What's your favorite show moment?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah,
I mean,
time to shine.
yeah, the last couple of shows have been amazing, and it's like the same thing. It's like crossing paths with a lot of the bands that we played with previously. Like Joe, we used to play in our other band, and we'd play in the evening, and Joe would be on one stage, we'd be on the other stage. It was like literally cross like every other week. We'd like switch stages, and he actually he actually drove the band and did merch for like my old band, which is so crazy. So it was amazing to see him like grow and jump on that show this past summer, and it was just like amazing
Big show for him too.
Yeah, like shoulder packed, just like outdoor venue, thousands of people, and just like beautiful and like
crushed that day.
Yeah, first show with this guy, and just like come together with like only a couple practices, and just like when the music happened on stage, it was like we've been playing together forever.
It felt so good that show.
Yeah.
Awesome day.
Probably it.
Yeah, and I think I gotta go with the same thing. Either Bernie's up in Hampton, New Hampshire with these guys, or we played like called the Higher Education Festival up in Maine, and it was like a lot of maybe like 10 or 15 bands, like an all day through the night event, people camping out. It was really just a good time.
Yeah.
I think one of the Marley Brothers was
That's right.
Yeah.
I accidentally used the Marley Brothers snare,
Yeah.
and he's not happy. I like hit it one time, and he was like, "That's my snare." It's like so high tuned. I'm like,
That's great. I wrote this down before. I'm gonna mention it now. Who played the fiddle again? Was it?
That's me.
All right. When is a good, like, when do you determine for a show, like, when to bust out the fiddle versus, like, not?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay.
Got a signature.
Like, this is like,
When did I bust out the
this needs more cowbell, or is like, this needs more fiddle? Like, what does that happen?
He's got a signature move. He'll like run out in the stage and like run across the bar while he's like fiddling. Like it's. I don't know when he's.
Yeah, I got a little wireless kit,
He's got this thing
and
that he does.
a lot of times, so when you bust out the fiddle, like, and I've been playing guitar like all night. We'll do a fiddle song like later in the evening, right? And it's everyone like they don't know that I play are kind of like, whoa, what's going on here? Play, and it kind of gets the vibe a little high, and then I get a little excited, and I can't contain myself, so I start running out into the crowd. And I usually like will jump on a bar or like up on a subwoofer or a speaker or something, and I let it go. I let it ride.
one time you climbed like a giant buoy, was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So we're from Gloucester, Massachusetts. It's like a fish town. We played a festival out in Gloucester at the end of this last summer, and there was a buoy, but it's like
we're talking like a 20-foot tall like metal
channel marker, right? So it's like 20 feet up. I went up and I climbed up to the top of it, and we're up there playing Shipping Up to Boston.
Dude, this is like a family-friendly, like community city paid for like show.
There's like
That's awesome.
It's always a good time. Can't contain myself here. I'm.
So you like look out the crowd and you're like, I don't think like right now in this moment, I don't think these people know that I can play a fiddle, and I just want to like blow their minds right now. Not like this.
They're not ready for this. They're not ready.
They're not ready for this fiddle. That's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of times I'm not even ready. I'm just like, where's this gonna take me? You know, it's almost like give up the reins and let the horse run. You know, like,
we just kind of let them drive for a little bit. Look at each other and it's like, yeah, this is
So can we expect to see the fiddle in Brooklyn?
Please bring the fiddle.
Yes. Oh yeah. The fiddle will be in Brooklyn for sure. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Make an appearance.
Great.
Well,
Fantastic.
it'll be a party, right? You have to bring your party tray to the party.
Yeah. Reggae fiddle.
True.
That is very true.
Most reggae instrument
Yeah. Right.
So I wanted to mention this. I don't want to forget to bring it up. You guys, before we started the interview, had mentioned you're working on new music. Is there anything without giving away too much, is there anything you're willing to share about the new music?
It's better.
Yeah, way better.
You're gonna love it.
So we mentioned earlier that the album the album's new to everybody who hasn't heard it, which is obviously a lot of people. So they're just introducing to our older songs, but to us, those songs are like 5 or 6 years old. So to have 5 or 6 years of growth as like people and in a band and a new lineup and having friends like get signed and see their growth and stuff and have that happen all like around us. And now we have the connections that we've been working with. I think the resources available now to us as compared to 6 years ago. Our talent, obviously, like 6 years of like playing consistently all the time. So I'm so excited to capture that in like a new project and show everybody where we are now, as opposed to like way back then.
Yeah, and just our songwriting in general has grown up with us.
Sure. Yeah,
it's a little bit more mature. Better is probably not the best word because that's a little subjective, but I think it's more of a telling of who we are in the moment now.
Sure.
And we like Mike was saying earlier, we recorded that album so many years ago.
We were kids.
It's not the same. We're not living the same kind of lifestyle. We don't have the same views on the universe itself. Like we're kind of like different people than we were then to a point. So now this new music that we're working on is kind of reflecting that.
Where we are now.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that a lot.
So you got any ideas of when you want to release any new music? Is this like is this something that we might see in 2023, or is this like just very beginning stages?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll say yes. You will start to see pieces of the new project released this year. Absolutely. Our aim is to maybe have one of the singles released prior to the Long Beach Dub All Stars tour, so that we can play it and promote it for that. So
that's great. Yeah, we'll definitely keep
you guys heard it first.
Hey, yeah,
hold us to it.
Exclusive.
Well, now that we just said that, now we kind of have it's like printed, so now we have to do it.
So
it'll keep us on track.
Before this interview is actually legally binding, so now you have to release it.
Especially, we're gonna clip that one portion, and we're
if it's even a day after the tour, we're gonna be like,
Contract is null.
Yes, null and void. Yeah. Well, what are the penalties on that? We have to come play another show.
We're releasing the B-roll of the interview.
You have to transition to just fiddle on the band in the band.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like no vocals, no guitars, just fiddle. Love it.
So if I switch to the fiddle full time, I feel like I'd be neglecting my guitar. But I always feel like my guitar is like it's almost like my love. And my fiddle is like my baby. You know what I mean? It's like a different relationship with the instrument.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Okay, so it's a good trade if they don't release anything.
So I can abandon my
That's okay. All right.
I think we lost the audio again.
No. Single. I'm not going to abandon my guitar.
I think it's
force ourselves into
we'll make it happen.
Doing the single.
Oh, my phone just told me that someone just rang my doorbell.
Incredible.
Hey, Dom, it's the fiddle. Let's go.
Oh God. So I have a question. You guys playing with a lot of bigger bands now, right? Is there any, besides Doom Blue and Bunktown that we've spoken about, are there any like up and coming bands that you guys tend to play with a lot more, or any bands that you kind of like on the bandwagon with you, or kind of riding this train with you?
We play a lot with Soul Rebel Project. They're definitely a level above us.
They were someone that we grew up listening to. They were like the first to push the reggae genre from our hometown, like to be signed and like start doing tours and do those things. They were like kind of showed what was possible for us. They won Boston Music Award for Best Row. They just played in Spain at Rototom Festival, which is like biggest reggae festival on the planet, which is it's crazy to see them doing that kind of stuff. But they've always kind of taken us under their wing and put us on big shows with them. They had us, me and Dave do a guest spot. They played Crane's Castle. It's an estate in, I think, is it Ipswich?
It's like a Great Gatsby kind of vibe.
It's like, yeah, like the Great Gatsby house with this huge, like grand front lawn, and there's thousands of people there, and they had us come and do a song with them and jump up on the stage. So like stuff like that they've been doing. So Soul Rapper Project's a great one. We've been doing stuff with them for a long time.
They're big.
Joe
Samba. He produced the album. He always is putting us on.
Yeah, he's been putting us on since the day we met him. Like
he's up with a lot of venues in like Key West and stuff like that. And he's really cool. Just as a human being.
Crooked
Coast, they're boys from the South Shore. Rooster Creation had even the Elevators that put us on a bunch. We played a show with them back when they were the Cornerstone.
Yeah, it was like
way back in the day.
It was like
5-ish years ago.
Something like that. That was a long time ago.
He was just our show.
Yeah, Nick Asta came out to the show and like he put us on. That was kind of cool too.
Nick, when I went down to Key West the last couple of winters to play gigs when it gets cold up here, and Nick Asta from the Elevators, the drummer, actually played a couple of the gigs with me because he sat in a few of my gigs.
We did a second album release show down there.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
Key West.
Yep.
And Nick was like he was coming down to Key West anyway, but he was like in, I think, New Jersey at the time or somewhere way up there.
He drove all the way
the day before, and he was hitting us up like, "Yo, coming down. You guys like want to get me on a gig?" We're like, "Absolutely."
We're having
Can you make it by tomorrow? Hightail that they didn't stop just for just bathroom stops, go straight through like 20 hours to make it through. So shout out putting up with that drive and just to hang out with us for the one night
sick.
and like
I forgot
rip the cajon with us on stage.
That's big.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
And it all kind of comes back to the thing we keep bringing up. It's all the camaraderie thing. It's like everyone's like brothers. It's all brothers and sisters. It's all just like real good vibes, real big like family kind of atmosphere.
Everybody's kind of like plugged into the network. Like,
so it's almost like every new band we come across like becomes like one of those bands that we're like kind of like they're putting us on, warming up together.
Sure,
that's awesome.
Yeah, we have stories with almost every band in our area.
Yeah,
the whole region probably, even beyond that.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. I really like that too, because like Veronika said earlier, you don't see that in a lot of other genres. Or if like you go like the hardcore community or if you go into anything else, you don't really see that. Everyone's kind of just out of themselves and all that, right? Where it's nice to see everyone's willing to lift each other up.
Yeah, we're lucky that we're kind of like
for a long time, and at least for Over the Bridge, when you came to one of our live shows, you could have seen members from any band in our area like on stage with us that night. Kind of whoever was like available on bass. We'd have like a bass for like the Quins and then the drummer from a different band, and like it was great. So he kind of like worked with everybody and been on shows in different pieces in one way or another with everybody in the area for a long time. That's awesome. You never really get to appreciate that kind of stuff until you talk about it and you like realize like
and you're like, oh shit. That's awesome. Well, anyways, guys, we're going to wrap this up. But thank you guys for hanging out with us, dealing with the 40 billion technical difficulties we had. But regardless, I think we had a great time. Like, I don't know. I'm excited to see you guys in April. But before we go, if people aren't necessarily on the train for Over the Bridge, give us like a little elevator bridge, like what we expect.
Well, you already said it. We're incredibly handsome. No,
no. If you don't like our music, at least we're handsome. I'm kidding.
Elevator pitch. We like to have a good time, and our shows, I hope, reflect that in our music. And we're just all about having like everyone kind of be a part of our big family. We want you in. Come hang out with us. Come listen, and like come to the show early. Come like have a drink with us. Come whatever. We're always down to hang, kind of thing. Our music's everywhere. Wherever you can listen to music, you can listen to us.
OTB Tunes on all the stuff and things. OTBtunes.com.
Our website.
And just like Google Over the Bridge. It'll tell you everything you want to know. That's where you can find us on the internet.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, for those listening and you're on the island, if you haven't yet, be sure to mark Friday, April 21st at the Barrio Electric to see these wonderful, handsome folks that we just spoke to, as well as also equally handsome folks in Dune Blue in Bunktown Falls. We're very excited to go to that show. Very excited to see you guys.
Breathtaking stage all night.
Yeah, just like the show is just called like Handsome Fest, right?
Yeah, it's all.
That's the show. It's just handsome.
Like
Not even
the
fast.
handsome.
It just says handsome on the bill.
Everyone has to change their names to like it's something to do with handsome. So it'll be like Handsome Falls, like Handsome Blue. Okay, did he just okay?
We'll put it over the handsome.
The handsome.
There you go. Over the handsome.
Over the handsome. No, that implies that they're handsome and they're ugly.
Well,
No. But yeah,
thank you guys definitely again for having us and promoting us,
Yeah, you guys
especially
are
the show in New York. We appreciate it.
Great.
It's been a great hang.
Appreciate y'all.
yeah,
Hell
absolutely.
yeah, guys. Thank you. We appreciate it.